Hey guys, here again. We're going to talk a little bit more about networking. Today, not so much using the S Speed Guides TCP optimizer. We're going to talk more about everything outside your computer, your modem, your router. We're going to get into details about how these actually have more of an impact on your actual network performance than your computer. Um, Now, the web page I have up is the router I have, which is a Asus RT AC66U. This router, when I bought it, was about $200. Now, you guys are probably like, $200? That's ridiculous for a router. But, let me tell you, spending a lot of money on a router is actually not a bad idea, especially if you're a gamer. Cheap routers tend to have more issues, just aren't built up to par for a lot of concurrent connections. I live in a household with my mother and a roommate, and they like to abuse Netflix, Hulu, Amazon movies. Pretty much they like to suck up bandwidth. Well, a cool part about this router is it has what's called QoS, quality of service. Now, people have hear about it. I'm pretty sure if you've been trying to figure out how to make your connection better, you've probably seen it on Windows here and there. Sorry if I'm burping. I've been drinking a little bit of soda. But back to QoS. This service, you see it and you're like, what is this? You see it as maybe balance control or something. You're like, what is that? Well, QoS on routers actually has the ability to throttle people's connections so they can only use up so much bandwidth, which you have to specify the total amount of bandwidth on your computer. And then it'll set it so this person can use no more than this much bandwidth. And then it allows you to have your own set amount of bandwidth as well. And you can set it up all kinds of ways. The way I prefer though is packet prioritization, where when your router is getting flooded with tons of packets that are coming in and out of it, you actually have it set to process the ones that are like for games, for voice over IP, and stuff like that first. Web traffic then goes like second, and then say you're downloading stuff. Everything you're downloading gets put on the back burner. You got downloading something on uTorrent. You're downloading a file from a website. All those are detected by the router and then put on the back burner. Now your back burner typically has a lot of bandwidth available, but when say you want to watch a video, you want to stream something, that will get higher priority than your downloads. So then your downloads will just use up whatever available bandwidth is left over after your streaming. So while you're streaming, you can actually download at the same time without any interruptions. Same with gaming, because gaming's got the highest priority. You can have people streaming, downloading, doing all kind of crazy stuff on the internet, and your stream, your voice over IP, all of it's unaffected by it because of your router. This is a really cool feature, and a lot of people don't know about it, and I really want to get into it because QoS is there. You just need the proper hardware to do it. And this router right here has the capability of doing it. I'm using it right now. And we have people on the internet doing all kinds of crazy stuff all the time. And I can play my games just fine. I can download, play, I can stream, play, download, I can do everything all at the same time. Not so much stream though, because I don't have a lot of upload bandwidth. But aside from that, downloading on my internet connection is actually not bad. People can do whatever they want on my internet connection if it comes to downloading. Uploading, though, QoS can only do so much for uploading if you have only so much upload bandwidth. I have close to 30 megabits per second download, so I got plenty of room for QoS to work with, whereas my upload speed is around 5, which is not a lot at all. That's less than a megabyte. It's 5/8 of a megabyte. Just if you guys don't remember the conversions from my last video. So there's not a whole lot to work with, and then QoS will try its best to keep it up, but upload bandwidth, especially if you're streaming, which I've been doing a lot of. Streaming takes up a lot of bandwidth as is, so there's only so much you can do with it. But if you do have a lot of upload bandwidth, QoS is perfect. Allows you to stream, do everything you need, upload at the same time without too much of an impact on each other. QoS is something you'll have to figure out. I'm not going to go into how to set it up and stuff like that, but I want you guys to be aware of it. Now, routers have a bunch of other cool features. that you can take advantage of. I'm not going to get into it. Getting routers that can handle a lot of the connections, that don't crash often. But just a pricey router is the best thing to have, especially this one that I'm looking at right here. I have this router I've been using for about a little less than a year. It's great. I've had no issues with it. I have it up to date right now. Works fantastically. And this video is going to turn into a fucking I love this router video, but I'm also I'm going to get into other things too. So your router does everything, but now the most overlooked part of everything is your Ethernet cable. What connects your computer to the internet? What connects your router to the internet? Ethernet cables. Now most people are going to say you only need a Cat5e. Yeah, that's all you really need. But why not take the extra $5 and get yourself a Cat7? This is the top of the line Ethernet cable you can get. All Cat7s are usually shielded, which means all EMIs that are running near them, which are usually like power cables and lights and all that kind of stuff, you protect all the information going through that line, so you don't have to worry about any packet loss along your Ethernet cable going to whatever device it may be going to. I have two of these cables. One is a 10-footer and I have a 100-footer actually, and they work great. I actually don't have any issues along my line. The only issues I have are with my ISP using this. Now, along with this, you also want to get really good coax cables too. That's for your modem. So let me look up coax cables for you guys. Coaxial, whatever. Cables. These are the ones you get that connect from your modem, typically from your modem to your wall. Now you want to make sure you got to get a pair of these too, because these are what are transferring your data. Well, pretty much all your data, everything going from your router to your modem, everything going to your modem or your gateway. It depends if you have FiOS. If you have FiOS, it's probably a gateway, which is a router modem combination. This cable, typically these cables are always shielded, but you want to get one that's good, just because that's where all your information is going from. Ethernet cables are not so important because they typically don't have to travel as long, but most of your information is traveling really long on a coaxial cable, more so than an Ethernet cable. You want to make sure you have a good one that can retain the information and don't have to worry about information getting lost or corrupted along the line, which typically won't happen on most average lines, but still, I'm a person of perfection and I prefer to make sure that everything within my household is as close to perfect as possible. Now, we got cables, we got the router, we got QoS down. Now, what about the modem? We're going to look at an SB6121. Now, this is the modem that I am using right now. This modem right here was top of the line. Motorola has recently released a newer version that's even more top of the line. Now, modems play a role to an extent. If you have an older modem, it's going to run really stable. And if it's not, then you probably need to get a new one. But modems make a huge difference. Honestly, going between an SB, I don't remember the old model, but I had an older one that came with Comcast, and that one worked, but I wanted to see what would happen if I got an even newer version with a little bit more performance behind it. Now, modems do have their own processors in them. They have how they process the information from analog to digital, so your router can read them or your computer can read them. The faster it does it, the faster your information will be sent back and forth, also known as ping or latency. By actually using this more up-to-date modem, I actually shaved off 2 milliseconds off of my ping, latency, my lag, whatever you want to call it. That's actually huge. That's great. If you're able to shave off a millisecond by using just upgrading your modem, that's crazy. That just means your modem has a huge impact on your performance. I mean, you can only shave off so much on your household. Everything in your household, you can only shave off so much, and then the rest of it's just due to physics and the limitations of your ISPs and all the nodes your information has to pass through before they get to their destination and then back to you. There's only so much you can do. So why not shave it all, every little bit of lag you have on your end, as much as possible. Of course, not everyone's gonna have the money, so this is something you do over time, or if you do, you do it now. But I personally try to get the best of the best. Now, like I keep saying best of the best, but the best of the best tends to be really expensive. So overall, this little setup I have right here is about $300. Cables, the modem, the router, stuff like that. Not everyone's gonna have that. So then it comes down to actually doing custom firmware and stuff like that, which also leads to JTagging. I'm not gonna even talk. I'm not even gonna want to even touch on doing JTagging on a modem. It is possible, but that's something that's actually kind of illegal to an extent. I mean, there's things you can do, and then there's a lot of things you can't do to a modem. So that's something I'm not even gonna really touch on. But you can, however, do custom firmware on your router. And people are like, why would I do that? Well, you would do that because custom firmware can actually be built by people within the community who have the same router that better performs, better does something, better is more set up for performance, or is more set up for usability, better set up. There's all kinds of different custom firmwares, custom ROMs for your router that can better do something than your router at its stock value. And I have an old WNDR Netgear 3400 that I actually installed custom firmware on, and I was able to better use its QoS features with a select custom firmware than the stock. And that actually helped out a lot. And then I got this router, and that significantly helped out a lot. But for people who don't want to just use what they have, I definitely recommend looking into custom firmware, but learn all the safety protocols first, because if you do fuck up, you fuck up your router and you're gonna have to go get a new one anyways. So there's more of a process you don't want to screw up on, because it is a little sensitive. Make sure you know how to use all the different protocols to back up and restore a router in case you do fuck up. Typically you shouldn't have to do too much to restore it, but sometimes you can't get stuck. So I'm just going to put that out there. I wanted to make this video just to make you guys aware of all the possibilities and all the things you can do. Also to let you know, I do have issues, and this is going to pertain to other people too. A lot of people actually here all over the United States of good old America. You can only perfect your internet connection to the extent of your household. You cannot perfect it outside of that. That is up to your ISP to do. If you try to do it outside your household, you are you're liable for a lot of things and can be probably get in trouble with the law. So perfecting your household is the most you can do. If you have issues with the connection, you have packet loss like I do every now and then with Comcast, you'll have to call them up, and you'll probably have to keep calling them up until they break out a tier 3 operator to come out and check everything and to find the issue. Typically they send out tier 1, check it out, and he fucking tells you, oh, there's nothing wrong. Then you get a tier 2 the next time you call. He comes out, says the same thing. Then you get a tier 3 guy to come out, and that's the guy who knows what he's doing. That's the guy who's like, he's like the little ISP mini boss. So that's how that all works. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped you guys out, and have a good day.